was just about to use a thing called Desperate Measures. What the hell is that?
Brendan Lee Mulligan's Campaign 4 of Critical Role has introduced a really interesting new homebrew rule. And should you use it at your table? So first of all, I feel like these rules are definitely more suited to tables like Critical Role or tables that aren't power gamers. I feel like some of the abilities could be abused at a table of power gamers, but if your players are very committed to role-playing, like the Critical Role cast, then I feel like this homebrew rule could work well at your table. Let's go ahead and get into them though. The system is called Desperate Measures, and this is how it works. At the start of your turn, while you are bloodied, you may mark one or more death saving throw failures off. These failures persist until you finish a long rest. In exchange, you gain one of the following benefits immediately based on the number of fails you mark. So typically, when you get dropped to 0 hit points and you start making death saving throws, those death saving throws all go away once you get brought back up to 1 HP. But these death saving throws aren't going to be working that way. They will persist until you finish a long rest. And you can only use this when you're bloodied, which makes the Desperate Measures naming scheme very thematic. And here is the kicker though. If you are reduced to 0 hit points, you begin making death saving throws with any failures marked from this rule already applied. If you have 3 marked failures when reduced to 0 hit points, you die immediately. So one death saving throw failure, you can choose between these 3 options. You can take the dash or disengage action, no action required, and this is at the start of your turn, by the way. You can add +5 to a d20 roll you just failed, and then you can re-roll a failed attack roll. Then we got 2 death save failures. When you hit with an attack, its damage dice deal maximum damage. And again, remember, just like the other ability, this is something you decide at the start of your turn. So you're not sure if that turn you're going to hit, and it's not like a smite where you can decide to use it afterwards. So that's something to keep in mind. If this happens when you crit, that'll be amazing. But this is also only beneficial to characters that make attack rolls. If you're a specific kind of caster that does mostly saving throw spells, then this isn't that useful. And then you can risk it all for 3 death saving throw failures, and you can choose between 2 of these. You can immediately take the attack action or magic action, or you regain 1 expended spell slot of 5th level or lower. So yeah, those are relatively solid. One thing I find very interesting about these though is I feel like they all feel a little random and they're not really that universally beneficial. What do you guys think?